I would absolutely rather face Denver in their current state than Minnesota. Minnesota is an issue. Minnesota will be an issue for Golden State. Now, with some of those teams that have been very good, a little bit lower in the standings, it's made it much more deep, much more interesting, including the aforementioned Minnesota Timberwolves. And I thought last night was going to be a great barometer. Okay, so they've had this run. They've been unbelievable in the month of March. Unbelievable. Like, I think I heard Russillo say number 1 offense, number 3 defense going into last night. And so now you're going to play in a big-time environment against a very good team that is very difficult to be good offensively against in that Dallas team. And they went all the way to the wire with them. All the way. That was a great basketball game. A great game.
There were so many big shots. The Towns dunk, the passes by Dallas, the shot making.
And Minnesota is dangerous, Kevin. Yeah. Like, they did a bang-up job on Luka last night. I mean, it does say something about Dallas.
Beverley, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it does say something about Dallas, that Dallas was able to win despite the very poor shooting night from Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them credit for that. Their defense keeps them in everything. But Minnesota, who I thought this was going to be a good test, right? Okay, it's been a hell of a run, but now this is a good barometer because Dallas plays a slow down game that can mimic what you're going to get into in the playoffs. And I thought Minnesota absolutely held their own.
Didn't that feel like a playoff atmosphere there? Right? I mean, not even just the excitement of the game, or just the crowd level, the toughness, the way it was officiated. Everything of that in that game felt like a playoff game.
And look, I know people have had their issues with, I myself have, with Pat Bev. That's
tough.
That's a culture changer too. He is. It reminds me so much of years ago when the insertion of Tony Allen just changed everything. Because when you have a guy like that, when you have a guy that is that competitive, when you have a guy that is that fired up, when you have a guy that's that kind of energy and it never wavers, it's just all the time, and that the other team hates, I see it bleeding over to those other guys.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
You see Cat, I mean, this is game on the line stuff. When is the last time you saw Cat, instead of just settling for that 3, takes it off the dribble from the top of the key and just hammers one down on Luka? And I'm like, Jesus. Like, it's bled over.
Nuts, dude.
Huh?
Hey, that dunk was nuts. He's mean mugging on the way back.
Oh,
I love to see it.
And you see him, it's just so, you see him up in Doncic, just giving him all kinds of problems, clapping in his face and all this stuff, just annoying him. And that stuff does carry over. It does to the other guys. You can see it. And that team that's no picnic.
Yeah.
That is no picnic.
Listen, man, like both of these teams, both Dallas and Minnesota, Dallas and both of them feel like teams that believe in themselves and who they are, and they embrace who they are as a team. I mean, that final minute for Dallas, you got Luka to Dorian Finney-Smith making a great pass for a 3-pointer, Dinwiddie making a quick, pass within the flow of the offense to get it to Bullock for a huge 3. You got these guys, Luka and Dinwiddie, or Winwiddie with a W, as Dallas fans are calling him, making the extra pass when they've been the dudes hitting the winners recently. Dinwiddie, of course, had his back-to-back games with the game-winning shots. But I think this team has a selflessness to it, the way in which they operate around Luka. And then with Minnesota, this team's just bought into who they are. It's a different guy each night. The toughness that you mentioned, that Russillo stat, they still are number one in defensive rating this month. Slid down slightly in offensive rating, but still top 3.
I don't understand them either, Kevin, because they were amazing defensively at the beginning of the year.
And then they fell off.
No, not fell off, like 30th.
Yeah, cratered, yeah.
They became like one of the worst defenses.
And now they're top
back
in
to
both.
You figure them out.
I know. Aren't they a confusing team?
Yes.
But they are, but I don't know. With Minnesota, they just seem like a team that has belief in themselves. Not that they're necessarily going to win a round or two, but it just seems like a team that is taking that first step like we've seen with young teams do many, many times before, including your Grizzlies. We're at this place with the Wolves where you got so much young talent and Edwards, Cat, and D'Lo, Vanderbilt. The list goes on, and this is going to be their first experience. But it should only get better from here, you'd hope, with the infrastructure they have.
As someone who keeps up with what the Grizzlies are doing every day, them moving up to 6 is not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. Not with all the Murray news that's come out. Not with the coach saying he's not even close. This idea that you may not even see Murray. If he's not even close, that's the quote. Wasn't even close.
And Denver seems tired. Too.
Well,
they've fallen
you're
off.
Just putting a lot on Jokic.
I know.
And I would absolutely rather face Denver in their current state than Minnesota. Minnesota is an issue. Minnesota will be an issue for Golden State. You watch. They will. They'll be an issue for them.
A full strength Warriors?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Yes, they will.
Full strength Warriors.
I'm saying they're not getting trashed in that series.
Sure. Okay, I'm with you there.
That's
not
all
like
I'm
a 4-0 sweep. They're not a team
No. And that's the difference. I think we looked and we thought the top of these standings, we thought the East is going to be a bear, but the West, there's a big division. The West is actually going to have, because of Minnesota playing the way they have, because we don't know the wild card that is the Lakers and what they can bring to the table, or whoever ends up 7 and 8. When you're talking about 7 and 8 possibly being a team with Jokic and a team with LeBron on them,